Catus Maximus here. Had a lot of requests about to reviewing these Icon Knipex knockoff wrench pliers, and so I spent 40 bucks I shouldn't have getting these just to make a video about them. Basically, had no use for them because I already have the Knipex, although I have the original ones. And what I'll say about these Icons is that they say designed by Icon USA, manufactured in Taiwan. That's false advertising. These were originally designed and patented by Knipex. And now Harbor Freight's gone and knocked them off. Another thing I'll mention is that this is an older set. The newer Knipex ones actually have knurling and they don't have the word patented on them. And I've read some comments that people don't think that they're quite as good as they used to be, even though they're apparently made in Germany. These Icons are an absolute, like, point-for-point knockoff, except for, I guess the difference is that the Icons, they have a little bit longer of a slot, but smaller teeth. I like the larger teeth of the original Knipex ones. The Knipex have a nice little thing where they stamp push on there, where they didn't, but all the little cutouts and all this stuff, this all looks exactly the same. I mean, the Harbor Freight uses a cheap little Phillips screw. The Knipex uses a Torx screw, at least on these older ones. And we can see the slight difference. See, the Knipex are 46mm maximum. We got 50mm maximum on the Icons. I mean, the Icons, they seem okay. It basically seems like either Knipex is making these for Harbor Freight and manufacturing them using a contract manufacturer in Taiwan, or something along those lines. Because what they've done here, and they have it's kind of an interesting thing where they have these laser etchings. So when you get it into position, you can move it, and through the window there, through this little hole, it will kind of show you the range of fastener that it's supposed to work with. And the newer Knipex ones do the same thing. We actually have metric on, really hard to see though, metric on this side, and we have fractional on this side, although the fractional side, the laser etching is just about invisible. Really hard to see. So kind of an interesting idea to have that little sizing matchup with the window, but it needs to be etched a lot better. I mean, really just absolute, just about an exact copy, even though the waviness of the handles. One thing I will mention is Harbor Freight's using this extra thick plastic dip on the cushioning. It's about twice as thick as the Knipex ones. So I do kind of like that. Not a lot else to say about these pliers besides they're essentially kind of like a more modern replacement for what used to be channel lock pliers, although channel locks have plenty of use still. The big deal about these is that you have this, you move them up and down the slot, and then this pivot here actually gives you a lot of additional leverage, and they're self-tightening. So if you do something like press on the moving handle, it will stay attached clearly to the fastener, and the harder you press, the more they'll grip. So these do work. I mean, I will admit that. You do get, what I mean is a ton of leverage. I mean, something like this is an antenna, but nonetheless, there's tons of leverage just to be able to crush things and just get a huge amount of grip on them. I barely put any force on that, and this is actually pretty difficult to squeeze multiple layers of steel on top of each other. So they do work. They just aren't finished quite as well as especially the older Knipex ones. And the Knipex ones are like 70 bucks on Amazon. So for 40 bucks, they are a lot cheaper for the 10-inch. We'll see if Icon releases more sizes. One thing I'll say about both of these pliers is they are not the original plier wrench. This is the Eiffel original plier wrench. So this is the, I believe, the first in the world wrench that has an adjustable jaw, and then also acts both like pliers and has the effect that when you press on the handle, the harder you press, the tighter that they grip. I also like these because they're straight on, and that's one of the things I would really like Knipex to do is, or even Icon, either one of them, is not only to have a pair that has this 45-degree angled head, but also have a set that has a straight on, because that would be handy in quite a few situations where you can't, you have an obstruction, so you can't reach around the fastener, you need to go straight at it. That's probably the biggest Achilles heel. Otherwise, these Icons, You know, they are the real deal, and they are cheaper. It just, well, time will tell if the metal is as good as Knipex's and how well they hold up to the wear and tear. Although I would have liked to see heavier duty teeth. I really like the thick, heavy duty teeth on the genuine Knipex ones. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Till next time, Catus Maximus out.